Once upon a time, in a certain kingdom, there was a rule that every year the people would replace their king. Whoever became the king had to sign an agreement that after 1 year of ruling, they would abdicate the throne and be sent to a remote island from where they can never return. At the end of each king's reign, they were dressed in fine clothes, paraded across the kingdom on an elephant to bid farewell to the people, and then left on the island to spend the rest of their lives. These were deeply sorrowful moments as the king bid a final goodbye. One time, after leaving the previous king on the island, the people came across a young man clinging on a piece of wood from a recently wrecked ship. As they were in search of a new king, they brought the young man aboard on their boat and offered him the throne for 1 year. Initially, young man felt hesitation, but he eventually agreed. People explained the rules and traditions of kingship to him, including the part about being sent to the island after a year. On the third day of his reign, the new king summoned his minister and said,
"Show me the island where all the previous kings were sent."
The minister obliged, and arrangements were made to take the king there. The island was a dense jungle filled with wild animals, whose roars could be heard from a distance. As the king ventured inside, he saw the remains of the previous kings, and it became clear to him that he would meet the same fate. Means he will be torn apart by the wild beasts. Determined to change his destiny, King returned to the palace and gathered 100 strong workers. He ordered them to clear the jungle on the island within a month, kill the dangerous animals, and remove unnecessary trees. While the workers were doing their job, King himself visited the island every month to oversee the work. By the end of the first month, all the dangerous animals had been killed and many trees were cut down. In the second month, the island was completely cleared. The king then ordered the workers to build beautiful gardens, and he began transferring domestic animals like chickens, cows, buffaloes, ducks, and sheep to the island. In the third month, the king instructed his workers to construct a magnificent house and a large port on the island. Over time, the island transformed into a beautiful city. Despite being king, the young man wore simple clothes and spent little on himself. Most of kingdom's earnings were used to develop the island. After 10 months, the king told his minister,
"I know, I will be sent to the island in 2 months, but I wish to go there now."
The minister and other officials disagreed, insisting that he wait until the year was complete. Finally, the year came to an end, and as per tradition, the king was dressed in fine garments and paraded on an elephant for his farewell. Unlike his predecessors, this king was joyful during the farewell ceremony. When people asked him why he was so happy, he replied,
"Haven't you heard the wise saying? When you enter this world as a child, you cry while others laugh. Live a life so that when you die, you laugh and the world cries. I have lived such a life. While the previous kings indulged in the pleasures of the palace, I planned for my future. I transformed the island into a beautiful retreat where I will now spend the rest of my life in peace and comfort."